thing happened, yeah. I applied and was denied again. And going through that reconsideration line, I was still, well, denied. You got that right. Denied again. Yeah, so after watching all that, I'm just gonna cut right to the chase, no pun intended, but I was finally approved for the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited card. And yes, I did in fact get the special offer of $900 in cash back, aka 90,000 Chase Ultimate Reward points, after spending $6,000 in the first 3 months. While being, you guessed it, over 524. In fact, 724 I was approved, which is 224 above the infamous Chase 524 rule, which if you're unfamiliar, where basically Chase is going to deny any credit card applications once you've opened up 5 or more credit cards in the last 2 years, spanning all issuers, not just Chase. So for those of you who know this rule and have been affected by it like myself in the past, you know this is a big deal, okay? To get approved over 524. And like you saw from the intro, it's been 8 long months of being beat into the dirt by Chase's 524 rule. So in this video, we're going to be talking about 3 things. Number 1, we're going to be talking about how exactly I beat 524 and actually was able to get approved for the highest welcome offer I think we've ever seen on this card. And just exactly my theories on why I think I actually was approved and why I think that possibly anybody watching this video right now can also be approved for at least the rest of the year. And I'll go into why just the end of the year in just a few minutes. The second thing we're going to be talking about is my data points and then my past experience with this card and why I was denied on 3 separate occasions over the past 8 months. Meanwhile, nothing has actually changed since those denials, and here I am, approved. Number 3 is my crazy plan to open up a Chase Inc., I think, every single quarter for at least the next year, and how exactly I'm going to organize my spend to hit those minimum spend requirements with, let's just say, maybe less talked about ways to actually hit minimum spend, which technically most people don't really want to talk about that often, but I'm going to be doing it, so I'm going to tell you guys today. And we'll do it faster than you could say approved, because that's exactly how fast this application was. Like, quite literally, it was like 3 seconds, like 3 spinny wheel seconds of time. Like, you get the point. And it's really too bad I did it on my phone because I couldn't necessarily get my actual reaction, which was I was sitting on the couch and I said, wow, it actually happened. Because I fully expected to actually be denied wholeheartedly. I completely thought I was going to be denied. It was just a quick, random, out of nowhere application. I said, let's see if this works. So why wasn't I denied this time? What makes this time different? Well, as you may or may not know, whether you watched that video in the past or you're watching the intro here, I applied for this exact same card 8 months ago on 3 separate occasions, and I was denied on those same 3 separate occasions. And I was given 3 separate reasons. Number 1, which happened to be the overarching main thing that they kept telling me over and over, the Chase reps, is, well, you're above 524. And at that time, I was right at 624. Number 2 is business structure. And basically at that time, they just told me because my business was so new, which at that time, it was already 4 to 6 months old, I think. But the Chase rep that also told me that also said that that really doesn't matter. And most people actually get approved regardless of that. They could just kind of forego that and get you the approval. Number 3 is insufficient business deposits, which they also agreed didn't make any sense because I didn't have the card, so I couldn't really use it or make deposits into a subsequent checking account, etc. And then I said, should I set up a business checking account? Would that be wise? And they pretty much said, like, that doesn't really matter. It's 524 is the reason you got denied. And after those just online applications or even in-branch denials, I then subsequently called reconsideration lines, to which they just kept reiterating the same. Too many credit cards in the span of 2 years. It's just, there was no way to get around it. And you guys remember that call, right? There was that rude rep, and she was nasty. Let's be honest. So what are my theories on how exactly I got approved and why everyone might be able to get approved right now? So my first theory is, remember last year, guys? Like, remember last December? Remember they were starting to talk about, we had forums and stuff. I think Spencer Johnson actually did a video on it.
So we're doing this again, huh? You know what? It's the holidays, so I'm gonna take the high road today. But if you're still here and my husband comes home, he's gonna be coming down your chimney. You got it? He's gonna take your ass for a sleigh ride. He's gonna jingle your bells.
Jesus Christ, these broads. But there were a bunch of reports at that time that Chase relaxed the 524 rule for all Inc. business cards at that time. And while still some people were getting denied, almost overwhelmingly amount of people started getting approved for Inc. cards at that time. And the general consensus was they pretty much figured out that they were going to relax this rule until December 31st. So a ton of people ended up going out for Inc. cards and getting amazing welcome offers at that time. Of course, I wasn't one of them, but now this has me thinking, like, is this the same thing? I mean, I'm not seeing the same forums and the talks of it. It's not in the air, but What if this is just kind of like an underground thing that they do, maybe an end of the year push for credit card acquisition? But my theory is, maybe for the month of December, it's relaxed just like it was last year. I don't know. I was approved. My second theory is, well, maybe it's just because of the special offer, right? So like Chase runs these deals every now and again, special offers on certain cards. And historically, I think we've always seen Chase actually relaxes certain rules. So this way you can actually acquire those special offers. So we've kind of seen that in the past as well. Elevated welcome offers and getting approved despite 524. Number 3 is maybe I'm just wrong on all of these theories. Maybe my business really was so new and 4 or 5 months was not enough time for it to be put in their system. Maybe it needed another 8 months to be considered an actual business. But again, it just brings me to like the Chase reps and all the reconsideration people just telling me like, that doesn't really matter. Usually we just forego that and we'll approve people, but 524. They just kept saying that over and over until eventually I just pretty much gave up calling. And number 4 is maybe they just don't care at all. I mean, maybe that's why Luke and Sledge and Chad all are able to just consistently beat 524 and get these in cards. But it also doesn't explain all the other people that are denied like myself. So who really knows? I would like to think that maybe it's just relaxed, at least for the next couple of weeks. But I could be wrong. And a little bit of a side note, but actually a commenter recently left a comment and they said that they were also, within the last couple of weeks, denied for the same Chase Inc. Unlimited. Same exact thing that they told me, but he just kept pestering. I think he called 3 to 4 times, and I think on the 4th call, they eventually overturned the decision and actually got him approved for that card that they denied him for 3 separate times. So honestly, I think that's probably a good method. So for some reason, if I'm completely wrong and it's not relaxed right now, just keep pestering them. It seems like it works, and then you eventually get approved. So I would say for you guys, if you actually do apply, with my link, of course, right? You can use my link, right? And are subsequently denied, just do what this guy did and just keep calling. Just keep calling, and eventually it'll be overturned. So, in fact, if I actually got denied for this card, that is exactly what I was going to do. I was just going to keep calling to see if they would ever overturn that decision. Which, I don't know if you guys are like me, but you guys always know I love to just talk about it. It's the most common thing everybody says in the YouTube community, but basically, of course, we're transferring those points for Hyatt, right? I just need more and more hotel stays. I'm a little bit at points poor at the moment. My Hilton points are just non-existent. I have like 30,000 left. Marriott points are like 6,000. I basically have nothing there. So Hyatt Chase points are pretty much the only hotel currency that I have at this time. So I'm just going to go full force and just get as many points as possible. So to me, and all of my average Hyatt stays that I've done, I think I've done 5 in the last year, have all been about 2 to 3 cents per point. So for me, that 90,000 Chase points is pretty much going to be worth, to me, $1,800 to about $2,700 worth of actual like hotel value that I think I'm going to be able to use over the next couple of years, whether domestically or internationally, because I'm noticing some cool Hyatts out internationally. So absolutely, I plan to take advantage of this 90K offer, okay? And I'll talk about in just a few minutes how I'm actually going to hit that minimum spend, because $6,000 is a good amount of money. And I guess if you happen to be a business owner, the 0% APR for, 12 to 15 months is not bad either. As a personal philosophy, I don't like to carry any type of credit card debt whatsoever. It just doesn't feel right to me. I don't like it. So I'm not going to be taking advantage of this 0% offers, even if it might be the smart move. I just don't want to have the headache of some sort of debt, on my mind. But if you're a business owner that needs it for maybe real estate renovations, funding any type of business operations, it could be a smart move for you depending on how relaxed you are with holding that debt in credit cards. But again, if you guys want to pick up this card and try your luck just like I did and just got randomly approved, well, you know the drill by now. Scan or screenshot the QR code on your screen, go into your photos, hold the button down on the QR code, it'll bring up the link. The link brings you right to the website, you hit view offer, and you go to apply on the website, and hopefully my theories are correct and you do get approved. And if you do, let me know down in the comments and I'll give you a hearty handshake in advance. But seriously, I really appreciate you guys if you actually do. And of course, I also want to gather a little bit of data points to see if my theories are actually true. So the more and more people get approved, the more and more people are going to be applying in December. Let's be honest. Because if that also were true, I might not even wait till the next quarter. I might actually have to have the wife also apply for one. We'll have to see. That might be a little too crazy, but we'll have to think about it. Oh, and one other thing on my actual past experience with this card before I get into how I'm actually going to hit the minimum spend requirements. So when I actually applied for this credit card initially, nothing has changed, like I said earlier, right? So here's some data points, right? So I applied as a sole proprietor, so no LLC, no EIN whatsoever. It was sole proprietor under my social security number. The projected income that I put was between like 10 and 15,000 between that one and this one. I can't remember exactly what I put on that one. This was technically under my real estate business, and the projected monthly spend at that time, I think I put $500 on the initial application and I put $1,000 on this application. Of course, it's all projected, Some months might be way less, most likely going to be way less. The next few months are going to be way more, so I can hit the $6,000 minimum spend requirement. But from what we've seen, all the people on YouTube who are applying for these cards and keeping them for the long haul, they're spending a lot of money up front, and then it slowly dwindles down as they apply for more and more cards. And it doesn't seem like over the 6 years, I guess, we've had on credit card YouTube that Chase has ever really cared. I don't think we've ever really seen videos of guys who got their Chase Ink cards actually canceled because of not enough spend. But I guess I could be wrong, and let me know down in the comments if I am wrong, because I want to know so I don't get my card canceled. But again, at the end of the day, it's all projected income and projected monthly spend. Who knows how your business is going to do over the next 12 months? The economy's crazy, so how could they really hold you against you if it's going to be projected, right? Maybe it comes up a little short, maybe it comes up a little hot. Who knows? And I know a lot of people talk about, like, oh, you can get approved without a business, etc. For those of you who are unaware, technically, yes, you can get approved for all of these business credit cards with not a real business, but really what people mean is, like, just apply like I did, sole proprietor, under a business of sorts that you do, right? So I could do one for real estate, I could do one for YouTube. My wife can do one because she has an online business. So there's many different avenues of businesses that you can actually use to actually get approved for these cards, and for multiple of the same card for different businesses. And for those who are unaware of, like, what actually would be considered a business, well, really a lot of different things that you can make money with. Like, a lot of people all mention, eBay. Maybe you're a drop shipper, you sell a couple shirts on the side. Even like Eric Gao has started an AI print business on his Etsy, right? So that, like, that can be considered a business. Maybe you're like me, you have a YouTube channel. You could have a YouTube channel, not make any money from the channel, and still consider it your business. Maybe put your projected income like $1,000 for the whole year. All these things can work and have worked for many other people already. So don't feel like you have to have a full established LLC business, because I now have 2 business credit cards and I have no LLCs whatsoever on the 2 businesses that I have. So if you thought there wasn't a chance, you got a chance. Don't feel like you're excluded from the club. So let's get into part 3 of this video. The one that's kind of like not financial advice, like it says it right there on the plaque. But one thing a lot of people don't end up talking about when they get these business cards that require like really high minimum spend requirements to hit these, really high welcome offers, they usually don't talk about how exactly they plan to hit the minimum spend requirements, and I get it. But I figured for me personally, this one is not super personal on how I'm going to hit this minimum spend, so I figured let me just tell you guys my thought process on what exactly I'm going to do, and then let me know after the fact if you guys would do this as well, or if you have done this in the past. Now, of course, you guys already know by now, everybody says it, if you have a business credit card, well, it's supposed to be for business spend. You're not supposed to be commingling business and personal spend. So personal use, things that are not for your business, technically would not be allowed to be put on these cards. And if that's something right off the bat just you don't feel comfortable with, you just think it's not like a good thing to do, then by all means, get the business card, put only business spend on it, and that's fine. Nobody's going to knock you for that ever. But I would be lying to you guys if I told you that it was only going to be business spend and how I was going to be able to hit $6,000 over the next few months. Now, fortunately for me, I won't actually have to put much personal spend on these business cards just to hit the minimum spend requirement throughout the entire year of all the cards that I get. Which actually, there was an exact Reddit thread going through my thoughts and exactly what I'm going to tell you guys on how I'm actually going to hit my minimum spend requirement right in this Reddit thread right here, which I have pulled up, which this guy, Karis Labs, said, can you use business cards for personal expenses and how far can you take it? And basically he goes through a little bit of how he's a photographer, videographer, it's a gig, but he was wondering whether or not he can put his rent, like he pays in advance, 6 months in advance for his rent, which happens to be $6,000, and he just pays a $30 fee, and he's wondering if that would work towards his business card minimum spend. To which this guy replied, Follow Guillory said, which I tend to agree with, is card issuers are not IRS. They don't care whether a particular charge is a business or personal. Just keep an account of your activities so you know what to deduct when filing your taxes. And the guy replied pretty much agreed that this is the most important answers because the banks don't care. He says theoretically anything is legitimate business expense and the IRS absolutely cares if you catch you writing off personal expenses for your business. And that's the way I kind of always thought about it. It's like, put whatever spend that you want on that card, just make sure at the end of the year that you're not writing off all the different personal expenses. So you have to make sure the things that you're actually putting on these business cards are things that you're going to be able to write off on your business. So that's where I see the main driver there and the main issue that would actually come about, despite it actually being in the terms and conditions. Which, like I said, if you want to abide by that, no one's ever going to knock you for that, and I salute you. I can only tell you guys what I plan to do, and if there are somehow a consequence, I will deal with that when it happens. So what do I actually personally plan on putting on this card? Well, for starters, as you guys know, I just moved, right? So I'm in an apartment now. and we pay $1,500 every single month towards the rent and for the small amount of electricity that we actually use, which we do end up paying for. So $1,500 every single month times 3 is $4,500 that will go towards that $6,000 requirement, to which it actually does charge a 3% fee for using the credit card at our apartment complex, which would in turn end up costing us about an extra $135, which, yeah, kind of sucks, $135 hit, but the fact that I could easily hit the $900 bonus, aka $1,800, $2,700 in hotel value, it's well worth it for me. And I guess if you're really, really technical, of course, not a financial advisor, not a CPA, but I'm going to be writing off the rent anyway because it is my dedicated workspace for not only real estate, not only YouTube, but also her business as well, which would pretty much just leave us with $500 a month for the first 3 months to actually just hit the $6,000 requirement, which car insurance alone will knock out a big amount of that. So for my personal strategy, unless something changes, I pretty much plan at this point for every quarter to get a new ink card. And the way I plan to do that is, well, I just got this one, right? I would consider this first quarter. For the second quarter, I plan to get the exact same card, hopefully the same welcome offer for the YouTube business. Then the third quarter will be under the wife and her business. And then the fourth quarter will be, hopefully at that time, I will have established an LLC for not only the real estate, but also the YouTube, which would then actually cover me for fourth quarter and also Q1 of 2025, right? Yeah, 2025. And all that time, a year or plus, just paying the entire rent amount, which should in turn be enough to hit the minimum spend requirement for the entire year. And if I did actually follow that plan truly for the entire year, that would end up yielding me like what? Close to 400,000 Chase Ultimate Reward points, which, I mean, that's 400,000. Jesus Christ, that's a lot. I didn't actually think about it. 400,000 Chase Ultimate Reward points, man. Like, what could I do with that? I wonder what you could possibly do with 400,000 Chase Ultimate Reward points. Maybe a full year in a hotel? That's pretty amazing. Yeah, so hopefully I can follow through and no other issues come up, but that would be pretty cool. So let me know, am I just an idiot? Am I madman, stupid? I don't know. Let me know down in the comments below. It's just my personal strategy. It's what I plan to do. Who really knows? But I get it. Business cards are not for everyone. Do things at your own pace. So who knows? If you want to get started, get one card for the entire year. Whatever you want to do, whatever you're comfortable with. But if you really are totally uncomfortable with business cards, then you'll be happy to know that there actually is a personal version of the Chase Unlimited card. It actually also has a special offer right now where they're pretty much doubling the amount of cash back or the points back that you earn for the entire year that you have that card from the day that you get approved. So if you want to learn more about the Chase Freedom Unlimited special offer, click on this video next. But of course, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you.